Hello, I'm Thomas Banks, the author of the geopolitical thriller Indefensible, and the host of On Technology and Drone on One at Twitter, where tens of thousands of concerned citizens join me daily in discussing the potential threat of technological jihad in America and across the globe. In this, the first episode in a series entitled On Technology, I'm going to discuss an attempt to put into perspective the rising and imminent threat of high-tech jihad. So my friends, join me as I share with you my perception of the threat of autonomous drones. It should go without saying, but the advancement of technology is inevitable. Some people believe progress is slowing, while others see progress occurring at blinding speed. Regardless of your school of thought, along with the technological advances come the rarely considered and usually unfortunate unintended consequences, hence the name. For most of us, we don't worry too much about the risks of using technology, much like Mitchell and Cooper of Motorola, who demonstrated the first mobile phone in 1973. I am certain Mitchell and Cooper never gave any thought to the number of automobile accidents and deaths that would occur from their technology. Once again, unintended consequences. But in fact, the amazing cell phone, according to the National Safety Council, is the root cause of 1.6 million automobile accidents annually, representing 30% of all crashes in America, resulting in more than 10,000 deaths. What do you think Mitchell and Cooper would have done if they knew their technological breakthrough would have led to so much death and destruction? Personally, I'm certain Mitchell and Cooper never considered for a moment that their exciting and paradigm-shifting handheld device would result in deadly unintended consequences. But the numbers are in. Mitchell and Cooper have blood on their hands. In this episode of On Technology, I'm going to explore the unintended consequences of today's modern personal drone phenomenon. For some, drones are just high-tech playthings, enabling them to slip their surly bonds. For others, drones represent an incredible business opportunity, whether delivering packages or pieces, providing a powerful movie filming platform, or allowing engineers to inspect dangerous and often unreachable areas such as power lines or oil rigs. Today's drone is an amazing business tool. But then there's always someone willing to misuse technology, revealing the unintended consequences: weaponized autonomous platforms. The most common question I hear is, how deadly is a swarm of drones? So please indulge me while I walk you through a frightening example of the likely unintended consequences of misused personal drones. Listen, I'm certain everyone knows that on August 6, 1945, the United States brought an end to World War II by dropping an atom bomb on the Japanese city of Hiroshima. That bomb, affectionately called Little Boy, was 10 feet long and weighed 10,000 pounds. Little Boy was carried aloft by Colonel Paul Tibbets aboard the Boeing B-29 Super Fortress bomber, affectionately named the Enola Gay. Within a couple of months from the day Little Boy was dropped, upwards of 90,000 Hiroshima residents died. Today, aside from military drones, your typical quadcopter available online or from your generic big box store is fully autonomous, employing GPS guidance, weighs only 3 pounds, and is about 12 inches wide. These drones have a payload capacity of 1 pound, and they can climb to 20,000 feet and cruise at 40 miles per hour for 30 minutes, and more importantly, cost only $1,000. Aside from intruding on our privacy, a drone by itself is relatively benign. However, add a weapon and you have something totally different. For example, imagine a drone carrying 4 ounces of the poison ricin. Pretty much everyone has heard of ricin, which has been made popular in a variety of spy thrillers and the television show Breaking Bad. Who can forget when Walter White at Breaking Bad killed his female nemesis Lydia with an imperceptible amount of ricin? Scary facts about ricin are it's easy to make, there's no known antidote, and as little as 2 milligrams, equal to a few grains of table salt, are deadly. So a single commercial drone carrying 4 ounces or 113,000 milligrams of ricin can kill upwards of 60,000 adults. Imagine, if you will, a swarm of 8 drones, each laden with 4 ounces of ricin. Collectively, they have the potential to poison and kill 500,000 adults, 10 times the killing power of Hiroshima's Little Boy atom bomb dropped in 1945. Drones have come a long way since invented by Jordi Munoz in 2011, from drones made with Legos to high-end consumer toys to exotic stable platforms for the film industry. I'm certain Mr. Munoz never spent a second considering the unintended consequences that his innovation represented. The inevitable threat of weaponized drones is permeating every level of society. Unfortunately, the reality of unintended consequences for consumer drone phenomenon will soon be realized. I am certainly not the only one who shares this concern. In the words of physicist Stephen Hawking, autonomous drones represent humanity's next great threat. Their versatility can make them the Kalashnikovs of tomorrow. They're cheap, effective, and readily available. Even Eric Schmidt, Google's CEO, has an opinion about drones. According to Mr. Schmidt, the use of cheap miniature everyman drones need to be banned by international treaties before such devices fall in the hands of private users, including terrorists. Just recently, the Defense Advanced Research Project Agency, known as DARPA, announced its Aerial Dragnet initiative to identify, track, and ultimately neutralize drone threats. However, a DARPA project is typically decades away from real-world implementation. My personal mission is to inform everyone of the threat posed by uncontrolled use or misuse of these simple yet powerful pieces of technology. My objective is to ensure that a truly important discussion is begun regarding the imminent threat of terrorist use of weaponized drones, what I call high-tech jihad. My greatest fear is that we will awaken one morning and be blindsided as we were on 9/11, where we are brutally attacked by indefensible, readily available, agile, small, and deadly swarms of autonomous weapons systems. My inspiration for Indefensible occurred one evening while enjoying a cigar and a cup of coffee with my best friend Mitch on the patio of a local Panera, when a drone hovered overhead. Almost immediately, the premise of my novel Indefensible was born. I encourage everyone to participate in this important discussion and inform your friends, family, law enforcement, and civic leaders of the very real threat posed by out-of-control personal drones, the unintended consequences. I urge you to become part of this important conversation by joining me on Twitter at DroneOn1, visit my website at indefensible.org, and get your copy of Indefensible from Amazon.com today. Thank you for joining me on this most important mission. I'm Thomas Banks. Goodbye.